friends, and welcome to Spilling Studio. My name is Sam, and this week we have a few ARE practice questions designed to help you pass your next exam. We have one question per exam topic and a bonus question at the end, so stick around. First up is practice management. For accounting purposes, an employee is considered an indirect labor, an overhead expense, a fixed asset, a current asset. Feel free to pause here to answer. The answer is an overhead expense. Overhead expenses are those that the business continually incurs, whether or not revenue is being generated. These expenses include rent, power, salaries, and subscriptions, among other things. Indirect labor is all time spent on items not directly related to a revenue-producing project. That includes working on proposals, administrative work, and even filling up a stapler. A fixed asset is anything the firm owns long-term that has value, like a printer or a plotter. A current asset is cash or something the firm owns that will make them money within a year. Next up is project management. Which of the following should be included in a work plan? Check all that apply. Dependencies, milestones, staff needed to do the work, code requirements, allocation of time and fees. Pause here to answer. The answer is dependencies, milestones, staff needed to do the work, and allocation of time and fees. As an example, here's a very basic work plan. A work plan should include scope of services, breakdown of services and phases, dependencies, milestones, staff to do the work, breakdown of time and fees into phases with individual tasks, and what work will be done by the consultants. Now on to programming and analysis. Which of the following is considered a model code? American Society for Testing and Materials, International Building Code, National Electric Code, Underwriters Laboratories, Florida Building Code. Pause here to answer. And the answer is International Building Code. Get used to seeing these covers because once you're licensed, you're going to be going through these books just about every day. So model codes are those written by a group of experts without reference to a specific location. Cities and countries are able to adopt these codes or model their own code based on a model code. The IBC is a model code not written for a specific location. Many states base their code off the IBC. The Florida Building Code was specifically written for the state of Florida, therefore it is not a model code. The NEC is considered a companion code because it governs one aspect of construction, which is electrical work. ASTM creates procedures and standards for manufacturers to test their products. Underwriters Laboratory tests for the safety of products. If a product has a UL label, then the product has successfully passed their safety tests. Our project planning question is: an owner wants to save money on their electricity bill. The client owns an office building with regular hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. However, from time to time, an employee will work late or come in on the weekend. Which of the following is the best option for the client? Dimmers, multi-level lighting control, occupancy sensors. Pause to answer. And the answer is occupancy sensors. Occupancy sensors turn off lights when no one is in the room. They sense movement and turn off when there's no movement in the room. You'll typically see these sensors mounted on the ceiling in commercial buildings and schools. They're typically not used in residential applications. This would be the best option for the client since there are odd times when the employees may be working and lighting may only be needed in one space. Multi-level lighting control allows for a variation in lighting power while keeping a uniform level of illuminance. This would not have a large effect on the owner's electricity bill. Similarly, dimmers make it possible to reduce light levels when maximum output is not required. This is not an effective approach to reducing the energy bill since it relies on occupants to manually adjust the lighting. I post new questions every week, so please hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on a video. Now on to project development. Which of the following wood columns has the lowest K value? Both ends free to rotate, but translation is fixed. Both ends fixed against rotation and translation. One end free to rotate and translate, and one end fixed against rotation and translation. One end fixed against rotation and translation, and one end free to translate, but rotation is fixed. Pause to answer. The correct answer is both ends fixed against rotation and translation. K value represents the ratio of effective length of a column to its actual length. The effective length is the total unsupported length. The K value is used to design safe and efficient columns and prevent buckling. It also tells us the load carrying capacity of the column. Both ends fixed against rotation and translation has a K value of 0.65. Both ends free to rotate but translation is fixed has a K value of 1.0. One end free to rotate and translate and one end fixed against rotation and translation has a K value of 0.8. One end fixed against rotation and translation and one end free to translate but rotation is fixed has a K value of 1.2. Next up is construction evaluation. The architect's certification of the application for payment means the architect reviewed construction methods and techniques, made extensive on-site inspections of the work, believes the work has progressed to the point indicated in accordance to the contract documents, reviewed copies of requisitions received from subcontractors and ordered materials. Pause here to answer. The answer is believes the work has progressed to a point indicated in accordance with the contract documents. Certification of the application for payment is confirmation from the architect that work has progressed to the point indicated to the best of their knowledge and is in accordance with the contract documents. The certification does not represent the architect conducted extensive inspections, reviewed copies of requisitions, or reviewed methods of construction. Here is what a typical application for payment would look like. The original contract amount would be listed as well as any changes. And these changes typically come as change orders. The contractor is also paid for materials on site. And you'll see in line 8 and 9, it calls out for retainage. So retainage is an amount that is held until the owner confirms a successful completion of the project. This total is usually between 5 and 10% of the total contract price. Now on to our bonus question. According to AIA document B101, what is the first step to resolve disputes between the owner and the architect? Mediation, arbitration, litigation. Pause to answer. The correct answer is mediation. Mediation must be tried first once a party files a claim. Mediation involves bringing in a third party to aid in settling disputes and negotiate a settlement. Arbitration is the next step. It's a formal, legally binding process to resolve disputes without litigation. Arbiters with construction industry experience will hear from both parties and make a decision. This decision is binding. Litigation is a lawsuit by one party against another in a civil court of law. That's our questions for this week. Remember to check out in the description for links to some of the AIA contracts covered in this video. I've also linked some of my favorite study books, so go check those out. Let me know in the comments if there's a topic you'd like covered in the next video. And as always, thank you for joining. Please subscribe and good luck on your next exam. You got this.